Hello, everyone. Have you ever come across this punchline from a feminist woman or either a misandrist woman to say, I'm going to be feminine for my man. I'm going to be feminine for my man. Just listen to that. I'm going to be feminine for my man. It's like a mind-boggling. It pisses me off. It baffles me up, because how could you just say, like, for instance, let us just switch this thing for a man to say, I'm just going to be masculine to my woman only. What about others? This is a general accepted trait by the opposite gender that we know that men want women who are feminine, who are subservient, who are traditional, who wears like these traditional clothes, um, something like that. But we come across this misandrist women, narcissist feminist to say, I'm just going to be feminine for my man. Like, no, just be feminine to everybody. If you like the idea and the concept of being a feminist, a feminine woman, just be like that. You're going to be a feminist to guys on the street. And when you meet your man, and then you're going to be like, you're going to be feminine. It's a mind-boggling. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm flabbergasted and perplexed to understand how could you stand firm with audacity, with boldness, to say, I'm just going to be feminine for my man. Like, what the fuck? What the heck is wrong with women? How? Just imagine if a man could say, I'm just going to be feminine, and then I'm just going to be masculine to only my women. But we know very well that women, what type of guys they want. They want masculine guys most of the time. 8 to 90% of them would prefer to date guys who are more masculine than feminine guys. The very same thing, vice versa, on males. Males would always prefer ladies who are feminine, subservient, less talkative. Not these ladies who are running their mouth like, I don't know, how can I call it? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a misogynist here, but it's a mind-boggling. It puzzles me, to see a woman to say, with a strong audacity, I'm just going to be feminine for my man. Why can't you just be feminine? If you like the idea of being feminine, if you find it worthy to be feminine, if you know that being feminine, it's attractive to the opposite gender, which is males, it's attractive to the males that you're trying to lure, that you're trying to keep, that you're trying to entice to come to the party, Why can't you just be feminine? Because you know it is a general accepted trait that is liked by males. Why can't you just be feminine and say, okay, I'm just going to be a boss lady on the street. I'm just going to be a boss lady at workplace, by the shopping center, at the malls, the people that I'm going to mingle with, probably in church, if you are a church goer, because most of you are claiming to be Christians as well. So I'm just going to be a feminist in all other areas. But when it comes to my man, I'm just going to be feminine for my man. What about the men in general on the street? Why can't you just be feminine even to them? Whether you dating them or not, just simply because just simply because you confer and venerate this trait of being feminine. Why can't you just be feminine rather than to be choosy and say, I'm just going to be feminine for my man? You will never come across a guy who's going to say, with boldness, with audacity, to say, I'm just going to be feminine and I'm just going to be masculine. I'm just going to be masculine to the woman that I'm going to date. What about all these other women that you come across and bump across in this world, whether in churches and business meetings, whether in shopping centers and what's not and so forth? Just be masculine. Just do that. Because sometimes here's another ludicrous fiction delusion. It's like women can list all the things they want from a man. Like, I want an alpha man, 6-figure man, with deep pockets, who drive like exotic cars, making like probably 800,000 or to a million up to a month potential. I want an alpha male. I want a high value male and all of these things. It's like, just pause a little bit and think about this thing. Try to ingest this thing. Okay, you've listed everything and nobody's against what you've listed. It's your preference. It's what you prefer. It's what you would like. It's what you get along. It's what resonates with you. That is totally okay. Generally, it is accepted. But just before you freak out, just bear in your mind everything that you've listed that you want from a man: a high value man, an alpha man, six-figure man who makes quite a lot of money with deep pockets, driving exotic cars, living in lavish opulence, locations, and what's not, and so forth. And then, if you want a high value man, just pause a little bit and think about this. Is the man that you want also attracted to you? Does the man that you want find you worthy? Do you think the man that you want, because on your side of the list, you can tick all the boxes, but just think of that particular individual, that high value man, that alpha male. Do you think he would prefer you with your character, with your attitude, with your behavior? Would you keep that man? Because it's fine, your beauty can open doors for you, but your beauty cannot keep you inside the house after the doors were open for you. That's another thing that we should put sunglasses for. We should be very considerate, women outside there. And here is another thing. Like, I've seen this, especially from women, to say men's are trash. You've got one job as a woman. You've got one job. You're very beautiful, flamboyant, stunning. You like outstanding, inquisitive, unique, exceptional, extremely beauty. It is accepted, and I applaud for you to be such of a girl. You're extremely beautiful, but just think of this. With all of these things, with all of these characteristics, beautiful and everything, and then obviously the influx of men, numerous tons and tons of guys, of males who's going to come to you, chasing after your ass, proposing you, trying to approach you, trying to win your heart, trying to establish a relationship with you. All right. Out of like let me just say 100 men in a month that proposes you, because a woman has a potential of being proposed by maybe 30 males in just a single week. 30 male in just a single week. What about the month? A woman can be proposed by 60 males in just a single month. And you've got the guts to reject all of these guys who are coming to you, trying to propose, trying to establish a relationship with you, because they are not ticking in your box. But now, at the very same thing, which is also baffles me up, and I perplex to understand, in spite of all of these guys that you've just rejected, you still find guys and call them their trash. Who's wrong? Who's the chooser? Who picks? You've got one job: to pick the right man that ticks all your box, rather than to keep on declaring and decreeing that, oh, men are trash, this narrative and all of these things. Who picks them? Because their duty, their responsibility is to propose, is to say, here, do I match your requirements? Then if I do, then take me. Women have leverage of picking guys, but they still picking trash guys, and then they are calling them trash. No, guys are not trash. It's the guy that you pick. Change the way you assess, evaluate, and examine, how you identify, how you detect them, how you view them, how you see them. Don't call men a trash. Call your picking points, your picking procedure that is a trash. Oh, la felice cool, la felice cool, la felice cool. Men's are trash. Men's are trash. And this thing of being single parents, you can just literally sleep with a brokey. Know very well that this particular individual is a brokey. He doesn't afford to pay his own personal bills, and all of a sudden, automatically, he just plants something in your womb. It passes all these condom, contraceptive pills, prevention, and all of these things, and then say, yes, I had a baby with him, but it doesn't mean that he's my husband. I can't marry her because probably he's broken, all of these things. But you knew from the get-go. Why did you go the extra mile and give birth to a baby